Friends, welcome to the Future Money Masterclass. This is the episode 5 and today's topic is going to be the tokenized world on how real world assets are moving onto blockchain and what this means for the investors. Friends, this episode explores a transformation quietly unfolding beneath the surface of global finance. Real world assets once locked in physical form, accessible only to a few, are now being digitized, tokenized and brought to global markets. From real estate and commodities to art, carbon credits and private equity, the process of tokenization is reshaping on how ownership is created, transferred and valued. Friends, this is not a distant concept. It is happening now as we are speaking, and it is poised to unlock trillions of dollars in new economic value worldwide. Friends, tokenization is the bridge between the physical and digital worlds. It involves representing ownership of real world assets as digital tokens on a blockchain. These tokens can be divided, traded, transferred, and stored securely, often with greater transparency and efficiency than the traditional systems that we are used to. In traditional finance, ownership is often fragmented, slow to transfer, and limited by geographic or legal boundaries. Tokenization removes many of these barriers. It enables fractional ownership, instant settlement, programmable transactions, and global liquidity. Now imagine owning 1% of a commercial building in Singapore, a portion of gold reserves in Dubai, and a stake in an art piece in Paris, all managed from your digital wallet. This is not imagination. This is the tokenized economy taking great shape. For investors, this represents one of the most significant financial shifts of the decade. It expands access to previously illiquid and exclusive asset classes. It creates new ways to diversify portfolios, generate income, and participate in global markets. It also lays the foundation for entirely new financial instruments built on blockchain. The core engine behind this transformation is blockchain technology. We are all learning about it every single day. Blockchain provides a secure, transparent, and immutable ledger where tokenized assets can be issued, tracked, and transferred without relying on centralized intermediaries. Friends, each token is backed by a verifiable claim to the underlying real world asset. Friends, smart contracts is ensuring that it rules governing ownership, transfers, and distributions which are executed automatically. This reduces friction, eliminates many intermediaries, and enhances speed. Tokenization across multiple categories is happening as we speak. Real estate is one of the earliest and most promising areas. Commercial buildings, residential projects, and even land parcels are being tokenized to enable fractional ownership and easier transferability. Friends, in traditional real estate markets, high capital requirements and long settlement cycles limit investor participation. Tokenization allows small investors to access large projects, increases liquidity, and simplifies transactions. Commodities are another growing segment. Gold, silver, and other precious resources are being represented as blockchain tokens, allowing instant transfers and global accessibility. Art and collectibles are being tokenized as well. Digital certificates on blockchain represent ownership stakes, allowing investors to co-own valuable artworks or rare collectibles without physical custody. Even carbon credits and environmental assets are being tokenized to enable transparent, efficient trading in the sustainability sector. Friends, for Indian investors, this presents a unique opportunity. India has a vibrant real estate market, a growing commodity sector, and an emerging interest in alternative assets. Tokenization can make these assets more accessible, liquid, and transparent. Indian developers are beginning to explore tokenized property models. Financial institutions are studying regulatory frameworks to support tokenized offerings. Friends, startups are experimenting with platforms that enable fractional ownership, and global reach. This is a critical moment. The tokenized world is not just about technology, it is about redefining ownership structures, market access, and capital flows. Friends, before tokenization, investing in many asset classes required large capital commitments, complex legal agreements, and very limited liquidity. After tokenization, participation becomes simple, programmable, and global. But this transformation also comes with responsibilities. Regulation plays a crucial role. Governments are working to balance innovation with investor protection, taxation clarity, and anti money laundering safeguards. India is observing global developments closely and gradually shaping policies to support responsible adoption. Security is another important factor. While blockchain offers strong protection, platforms must ensure proper custody solutions, smart contract audits, and compliance layers to safeguard investors. Investors need education to navigate this new terrain wisely. Friends, tokenization also requires reliable oracles and asset verification mechanisms to ensure that digital tokens truly correspond to their physical counterparts. Despite these challenges, the direction is very clear. Tokenization is not a speculative idea. It is a structural transformation on how assets are created, distributed, and monetized. And early strategic participation can yield extraordinary advantages. Before we continue to the next episode, let us take a moment to acknowledge our partners which make this master series possible for our advantage. Sante Spa Cuisine, which nourishes innovation with mindful food, proving that clarity begins with well-being. Bod Active Gymwear, which combines flexibility and power, supporting those building the foundations of tomorrow's tokenized economies. Turning Red Media Studios, which transforms complex financial narratives into globally monetizable content, amplifying stories that shape new markets. SDG 6 Technologies, which provides the sustainability backbone through advanced water storage solutions, ensuring that future innovation stands on stable ground. Friends, the tokenized world will reshape investment strategies fundamentally. Liquidity will no longer be limited to traditional stock exchanges. Ownership will become more inclusive. Friends, secondary markets will flourish globally. Investors will diversify not just across geographies but across entirely new digital asset classes. For strategic growth, this investment module is once in a generation moment. Friends, I invest capital, technology, experience, influence, and global ecosystems into ventures that redefine how value moves. I collaborate with founders and investors to build platforms that bridge traditional finance with blockchain-powered ownership models. I do not just fund tokenization projects, I help to architect sustainable, regulatory compliant, globally scalable ecosystems. If you are building or investing in a tokenized asset platforms, you can message me to explore on how we can accelerate growth together. Friends, now let me summarize today's 4 key takeaways from today's episode for us to remember the key points well. First and foremost, tokenization is bridging physical assets and digital finance, unlocking trillions in value. Secondly, it is enabling fractional ownership, global liquidity, and accessible participation across asset classes like real estate, commodities, and art. Thirdly, regulation, security, and verification are critical for sustainable growth of the tokenized ecosystem. And fourthly, early strategic investors can position themselves at the forefront of a massive structural transformation in global finance. Friends, the tokenized world is not the future, it's already here. Those who understand it today will lead tomorrow's capital market. I request you to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel for the insights on future wealth strategies and financial innovation. And remember, the Future Money Conference is happening in Mumbai at Hotel St. Regis on the 22nd of December 2025. Please participate. This conference will bring together tokenization pioneers, regulators, investors, and innovators to shape the next generation of financial infrastructure. Friends, tell us in the comments below which aspect of tokenization you want us to explore further in the future episodes. Friends, your insights will help me to shape the conversations that shape the future. Friends, once again, this is Future Money Masterclass and thank you for watching us. See you in the next episode. Thank you so much.